Okay, so let's take a look at how you can create a diverging bar chart in our language. So first thing, we open our studio, right? Now then we will be creating a test data. Then we will move on to library through which we will create these diverging bar chart, right? So first thing, let me clear the existing code if there is any. Now for this particular chart we will be using ggplot2. So go to tools, install packages, and you can go to ggplot2, right? So simply click install. That should install the package, right? Now once you do that, you can create a script, set the seed. For me it's 6, right? Now next thing, we will be creating a data frame, right? So data.frame, right? And here I'm going to use letters 120, right? And then next thing is we set the value on 20, right? Now once we have these things, I can call for library ggplot2, right? Now next thing is plotting the most basic diverging bar chart, right? Before that, let's take a look at ggplot function, right? So this function will take our data frame, right? On the next line I will be using AES, and that function should take the value of X group, right? And then also we will be getting Y as value, right? And then use plus sign concatenate, where we will be using geom underscore bar. Considering this is diverging bar chart, we will be using geom underscore bar, right? Now here I'll be using stat equals to identity, right? So for our current diverging bar chart, we'll be also hiding the legend. So show legend set to false, right? If you want, you can enable it with true, right? Then we will also be adding x and y axis labels with xlab and ylab. So use plus and then xlab ylab, right? So group and value is how we add it. So this is for the most basic diverging bar chart, right? So what we can do from this point onwards is running the code. So first run, we got seed, then we have our data frame ready. If we click on this, it should open a tabular view of our data frame, group and value, right? So now let's move to library ggplot2, right? So now that we have this library, what we can do is select this entire statement and run, and we got our diverging bar chart, right? We can order this by simply changing this x set to group, right? So we can do that with reorder, and then within that group and then value as reorder, right? And if we select this again and try and run this, it should reorder our diverging bar chart, right? We can also flip the coordinates, right? So for that, coord underscore flip, right? So make sure to use this plus sign because we are adding to existing statement. So if I select this again and run this, it should flip it. Now everything looks vertical and group is now flipped to value and value to group. Is how it is looking right now, right? Next thing is we have color customization, right? So there are things we can customize, right? So we will take a look at few of them. So after this show legend set to false, we can add few entries, something like fill, right? Let's set to some values, say 4, right? Similarly I can use color white, but for that I will have to use within double quotes, right? And we can keep the rest of the statement as is. If we want, we can run this now, and here you see we have the internal grid lines in white and these bars turn to blue because we set the field to 4. You can manually set to some other value, say orange or maybe green, and that should have this change as well, right? Now a few more things we can do is we can also add custom colors, right, for entire grid as well as these bars, right? So for that we will be needing scale fill gradient. Okay, so we can also add a few colors based on value. So for that I think we need to specifically create message that would let our plot know that we have to use the value less than 0 condition, then use these colors, right? Where we have light blue and pink color, right? So we have our color part ready here. We will have to use it in these two things where field set to color, right? And then we have color here set for white. So if I run this, I will have to run from the start here, and here you see the color change happen based on this particular value, pink and light blue, and we change the part in fill color, also the condition being value less than 0 if else. Okay, so if it is 0 and negative, then which color should be picked, that condition happens here. It chooses between the pink and light blue options, right? One more thing is if you zoom in, you will notice that we don't have any specific value like lollipop chart that we have. So if you want something like that, you want value to appear right here somewhere, then you can add using custom text. So that would be geom underscore text, right? So we will have to set few things for it. So for example, say label, we add round, give it value, and that should output, right? And next thing would be to use few things like edge just, so that should be for horizontal, then for vertical we will be using if else, and then within that value less than 0 condition, right? 1.5 and then -1, right? And also we will come out of this particular bracket, right? And that should be provided that we are in AES, right? So that should close the AES. Then we use comma, set the size for this particular text, right? And then close final bracket, then use plus sign, and here the excessive bracket is closed now, right? So there should be both this adjust just values, right? So we can select all of this and run. Now it may look a bit over the particular bar, so we can zoom in to see clearer view. So a bit too much close to the line, so we can experiment and get this mode, but you get the values on each specific bar just like lollipop chart. So you have your divergent bar chart with various customization that you can do for this particular chart.